Also, I think my mic was muted for that whole beginning intro portion.
It's gonna
So
be pretty awesome.
we're just gonna start
Why don't you do that intro again?
with that again. Welcome to the Audacious Playground,
Are we starting over?
Wait, starting
episode
over,
1.
Are you serious?
I'm
We're
dead serious.
All right, here we go.
But
Ready?
we'll see it in post production.
we're actually going to cut it and start right there.
But hey,
So
you
that
know,
was the
everything starts
Well,
in an
today
amazing way.
this
The
is
warm
intro
intro.
2.
John Marcus is going to be the intro role, right? Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be like
we started a
we
paper
start- we
goods
start-
company after watching
start big.
The Office.
Like, best intro ever, absolutely.
My
Let's do
thank you,
that.
Brandon.
it's been
Yeah.
But,
no problem.
Yeah, for
Paper,
those that
paper
are-
for sale.
those that are just joining us, aka my microphone,
We're starting a paper company.
we're talking about the Audacious Playground and what it means
The
for
Audacious
each of
Paper
us.
Company.
So,
AP.
uh,
Audacious paper.
Life is a playground that God has given us. It's meant for building, creating, risking, failing, learning, and becoming. Here, we will tell the stories of people who are living audaciously so that you can feel the permission to play too. So come and play with us on the Audacious Playground.
I'm trying to remember how we first started talking about this. It was basically just another afternoon in this office talking
Mhm.
about creating, and then you said Audacious Playground, and then Preston was like, "That's perfect." He just wrote it on the whiteboard, and there we are. And we have the Audacious Playground concept. But I think I'm excited just to talk about what's happening here in Waco.
Yes.
There's just so many opportunities. Michelle and I moved back from Fort Collins, Colorado in 2018. And my intro back to Waco was selling tours for Waco Tours. And one of my favorite stories
Shout out
is
to Waco Tours.
meeting David Ridley in Target. And he didn't know me. He just said, "What type of deodorant should I buy?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Next thing I know, I'm working for David Ridley and I am selling tours. And I think people often think that I am like this entrepreneur go get him, and the reality is that Michelle set up our first company. She watched like the entirety of The Office over the course of like 5 months, and while she
And that's
No,
how you came to understand this is how we run a business.
and that's I mean, ironically, our first company was selling paper goods, but
all sourced from Dunder Mifflin.
from Canton.
No, Scranton. Canton is
Scranton.
where
See,
the,
I've
the
actually-
NFL Hall of Fame is.
Oh yeah, probably more down my alley.
Yeah.
But she did all the DBA, EIN formation, and I only jumped into January Letterpress at the very end once it was up and running. But since then, it feels like over and over you say, if you have a good idea, you're probably one of the first people to do it in Waco. And so it is this playground. It's like this great community, easy living, not expensive, and just over and over, like, just get in the game. And I don't really feel like I've had anything special other than I just keep asking stupid questions, and the community keeps on being so loving and encouraging to help me get to the next step.
There's no stupid questions, just stupid people who ask them.
Okay. Okay, Preston.
I'm the chiefest of.
Okay.
So
So I mean, that's the playground to me. It's this place where just to try new ideas, and the audacious word from it is just to not be afraid to try. I feel like fail fast, fail forward, don't be afraid to fail, and
Yeah.
the community in Waco specifically is so encouraging. So that it's if you fail, they'll pick you back up again.
Yeah.
Before we move on, have you obviously you live in Colorado?
Correct.
You lived in Boston. You have a Nashville number like I do.
Yeah, let's go 615.
615. How have you, this is going to get deep quick, but how have you seen, when all of your relationships that you've been building here, how have you seen kind of this audacious living per capita in Waco? Because I feel like like with John from Kansas City and your family from Kansas City, all this stuff, we've seen big fish in a big ocean,
Yeah.
but there seems to be, from what I see, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, big fish in a small pond here in Waco that are kind of doing audacious things. Like, yeah. You know what I
Well,
think?
I think no.
I
but
feel like
well, what it's making me think of is how when Michelle and I were moving for Fort Collins, the question is, do we go to the big pond? Like, do
Mhm.
we go to the Dallas? Do we go to the Austin? Do we go to the Kansas City? Where there's this established narrative of things that you can jump into. And our decision was not to go there. It was to go to the small pond. So it's let's get in, and we just scaled up a lot faster. I feel like the last couple of weeks, my work has been in economic development, and I spent a lot of time meeting our Texas senators or talking with the mayor. And if I lived in Austin, I would not be
Mhm.
doing this at this age, this
Yeah.
early on in my career.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like per capita, I think Waco has a lot of like big audacious things. Like, yeah, I can just contact my state rep and
It-
like we have coffee.
Yeah.
And, so, like, and that's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. We're here on Austin Avenue, walked into the dichotomy, and the mayor's in the back hanging out with someone. So walk
Yeah.
up, give him a fist bump, say, "Thanks, Jim. Good to see you." Walk out, and it's
Nice
like,
DeLorean.
I mean, nice look. So those interactions happen all the time.
All right. Yeah, I think the beginning of we were talking here in the office and just wanting to share the stories is where this really came to life. But at least for me, the revelation of the audacious playground, or just that life is playing with God on the
Yeah.
playground He created for us,
Yeah.
started in Redding, California for me.
Mhm.
Was just praying and had a really cool picture of actually Elon Musk. I wasn't a fan of him at the time, mostly because I just didn't know all the stuff that was going on and all the things that he was doing. But yeah, I just felt like the Lord was saying, that's a guy that is dreaming with me. It's like, that's nuts. Kind of jolted my God box for a minute, of like what that actually means. And then got a picture of playing on a playground like with God, right, as like Heavenly Father and whatever. And just seeing like, hey, I created this place for you to explore and to adventure in and all the things. And it's like, it's not that you're not going to fall and skin your knee or get hurt doing things, but it's intended to go out and play and not, be governed by fear. So that's kind of where that started. And then there was COVID, like basically right after that happened.
Never heard of her.
Never knew her. But yeah, as all that happened, my wife and I were praying about where the best place for us was and where God was calling us to. And the first thing she said was Waco, Texas. And the way we typically have those conversations, I start with like, shoot the moon. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Long pause. Her response, Waco, Texas. It's like,
Yeah.
really, really, we're hoping you were going to say Paris. Like that's where I
and not
thought.
Paris, Texas.
Yeah, no, not Paris, Texas. But I have family from Texas, go Amarillo, and love it here. But that wasn't really on my radar. And it's like, all right, babe, we'll pray about that and see what may or may not come. The next morning, a good friend of ours, Shelby Burford, you guys know him, messaged us just kind of out of the blue. It's like, hey, I had a dream last night that you guys were living in Waco, Texas, and shared a little bit more detail and stuff. But just thought I was supposed to share that with you. All right, have a good day. Like, okay, I'll start looking at some houses in Waco. So that's what we did. And then ended up buying a house here at 23rd in Gorman, downtown. Started getting connected with the community, and just like what you were talking about, the opportunities here are absolutely insane. Went from being an entrepreneur and in software to, I think, flourishing, like buying two businesses, being connected with the heart of what's going on in a city. Really, really cool. And then also just being able to get connected with other like-minded people that really value their family, really value their faith, and also the people that are around him. So
Mm.
it's been really cool. But I think for me, what it means to be on the Audacious Playground is taking audacious risks. Like
Yeah.
there's just things that, God drops in our heart, or things that come up that just maybe don't make sense or feel a little bit over the edge. But praying those things out and recognizing like, hey, we get to play on his playground.
Mhm.
So Mr. Seibert, how about you?
I was born at a young age,
How young?
and
Do you remember?
I don't.
Great.
Um, uh, I it's interesting. I feel like the more time I've had to think about this, the more I'm coming at this from a completely different angle. I think I came up living and thinking pretty grand and dreaming pretty big, um, in audacious ways. And I think I had probably almost 10 years of it. I'm not going to say squashed, but suppressed. And like my audacious dreamer, it kind of it slowly, like it never came in for a landing, but it was hovering low. But then I'm thankful to have started working with you, John, and I think it reopened it to be able to believe in grand, audacious things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think for a long time, even people communicated like, "Hey, love your dreams, like they're great and all, but what do you actually want to do?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but what are you actually going to do?
but I think stepping in with what we're doing here at Consular Capital and Waco, it's like, cool. There's a cool dreams. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's been the past 3 years for me. I probably spent, I don't know, from probably from 19 till, I don't know, how old was I when I started here?
47.
Yeah, 40, till 35, 19 to 35 of like these dreams. These are my dreams, but they'll probably will never happen or
Yeah.
something like that. To now it's like, these are dreams and audacious goals and ideas. And it's like, well, why not? And that was one of our things that we wrote in our whole vision statement for Consular Capital is we wrote like, why not us?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, well, we want to hear people's dreams, audacious goals, visions, and which then prompted, which one of my favorite stories that I feel very knit to is the story of Joseph in the Bible. And his dreams, the audacious dreams, were from God. They're godly, holy, right.
He got a lot of flack from those.
And got a lot, and he started sharing them prematurely, whether right or wrong. And it kind of came to bite him in the butt, and thrown into a pit and
Sold into
sold to
slavery.
and then put back into prison after
Just that
being falsely
little thing.
accused and all these things. But the dreams were of God, and they did come to pass. But it was like it was either 14 or 17 years after he had these dreams from the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And for the audacious nature of these ideas, dreams, goals, failures, all these things, I think it's turned into not only like my dreams or audacious goals, but really desiring to hear other people's dreams. Like, well, let's work it out. Let's see how we can get there. And so I think for me, the Audacious Playground is, I see a lot of the pieces of equipment. I'm like, I like playing on the whole playground. I'm not really good at the monkey bars because my upper body strength, I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
But I know John Mark is the right person for the monkey bars. Or it's like, this person's really good for the merry-go-round because they have the capability of getting dizzy. and so I think I've come to understand I can see the pieces of the puzzle or the playground that the Lord has given and being able to identify who fits best in that.
Yeah, sending out those invitations.
And so I was like, come play in the playground. I think you'd be great over here. So that's Audacious Playground for me. Quickly.
I'm just a sucker for big vision. I think I realized that as time goes on.
Yeah.
Just, I love big vision, the audaciousness of it. And one thing that's fascinating about Waco specifically is I feel like we're one idea breakthrough of completely
Yes.
transforming the whole city.
Yeah.
I
Where
agree.
maybe an idea in a larger city is just like, oh, you're just another industry on the side. But the ideas that people throw out of like, let's buy every used car lot on Franklin, like, whoa, massive transformation. Or what if there was a literal green belt of park between Baylor and downtown? Like, these aren't too, like, they're big ideas, but they're
Yeah.
not that big. Like, we could actually do these,
Yeah.
and it would totally transform how the city operates.
We're not proposing taking the human race to Mars.
Yeah.
It's like, we can do that. We can create a green space and transform like the whole city.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's
and
what,
have an amazing
relatively
impact.
speaking, and I know this is probably deviating, but me being from Nashville, John being from Kansas City, and you being, from Boston,
Yeah.
it's like what takes $10 million here.
Yes.
And we've been talking about this when we go back and visit or whatever. What takes $10 million here is like $100 million in those places. It's like, oh, this is relatively
Accessible.
simple and accessible comparatively.
Yeah.
But that's another podcast about the accessibility of Waco.
I want to know why you decided to start another podcast. Lord knows the world needs more podcasts.
Well, it's because we are the ultimate. We're the number one podcast.
We are the number one audacious podcast in Waco. We are the number one audacious podcast in Waco.
I think in the world.
Audacious.
We're going to have Vicky fact check that. And
hey, Vicky,
background here.
Yeah, but why?
Why the podcast?
Yeah, why the podcast?
Well, at least for me, I think it's important that people hear the stories of dreamers.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear the stories of people that are out there getting it done and failing and succeeding in the whole system of it all, it sparks life. And there's places where you recognize in your own life, like, oh, well, I've had that happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I would describe that as like, hey, I had this vision or I had a dream or like I saw something. Well, that's how I express what I would feel from God. But people have had, similar experiences like that. Like our Heavenly Father speaks to us. But as we share what we've done and gone through, and also as we invite others onto the show, it sparks that in other people and hopefully awakens and maybe brings attention to invitations to come play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the why for me. Like, hey, it's important to tell the story.
Yeah, it's important to tell it. I think there's two parts on my side. One is it challenges me to refine the way I communicate with people and helps me become better at telling people why I love Waco, why I'm doing what I do. And I know, Preston, over there, you want this to be polished and perfect, but we're just going to have to work through this.
It sounds great.
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah. But I just need reps. Like you just got to take reps. This is starting a business. You got to fail a bunch to succeed. And there's something about telling a story over and over that's going to give me the ability to communicate to others. And also just, I think by putting ourselves out there in this, being a little silly, coming up with a mammoth to represent who we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's hopefully
move your head.
Shout out.
Hopefully it's inviting people to also just come and join us.
Yeah.
Just like come hang out in our office for the day. Come join in our project. If you're a Baylor student, come be an intern. Do a task for us. I don't know. It's just like get in the game.
If you're a tech bro working in California, hop on a flight. We got a place for you to work.
Or on Riverside with us on our podcast.
Also, you can join that way too.
It's better in person.
It's better in person. Just come on out and see Waco.
But yeah, so we're going to talk, but also we'll have guests from Waco. We'll have guests from other cities that we're connected with, telling the stories of kind of the audacious dreams that God has put on their hearts and the process of them failing in businesses and
succeeding in businesses,
or not even businesses, or
somewhere along the way in businesses.
Pursuances. Is that the word? Pursuits. I like pursuances.
Pursuits.
And Preston likes persimmons.
Pursuances, fruits.
But I think a good way to start, like, kind of setting that stage is talking a little bit about our journeys. I know, John Mark, Corridor Capital for you here in Waco. At least from the outside, I would say that's stepping out on the playground,
Yeah.
taking some risks
Yeah.
and just playing. Give us a little read in on what you've got going on there.
Yeah, my thing the last couple of years has been corridor concepts. There's
That's
a lot
always
of crossover and confusion between consular capital and corridor
I'll
concepts.
put a post production like an X that goes like that. Or I'll bleep it out.
But I live in Cameron Park and then work down here at Austin Avenue, and driving up and down 4th and 5th Street, my eyes were slowly opened day after day to realize how many vacant lots are on my commute. And at first I thought, oh, there's just a lot of space. And then I started thinking about how downtown Waco is growing in vibrancy, but somehow this neighborhood feels very stagnant. And so I set up a meeting with the head of economic home development for the city of Waco. And I was asking how many vacant lots there are. Preston, how many vacant lots do you think are in Waco?
In Waco or on 4th and 5th?
No, in Waco.
I knew 4th and 5th was like 86.
More than that.
Really?
How many are in Waco?
I'm gonna say 1,600.
1,600, good guess. John?
I was going to guess 200.
200. There are 6,000 vacant lots in the city of Waco.
Yes, I win. I go to the next round.
So, but just between my house, just on 4th and 5th Street, there's 187 vacant lots.
I said
So
86. I didn't know it was 187.
Yeah,
but,
out of one.
I was,
And so it's this
It
idea of
was a
like,
number. You're right.
why is there so much availability in a city that's growing, in a state that's growing?
Yeah.
And it just felt like the more I thought about a win-win-win of the city needs tax base. You get that a lot in Texas from taxes on properties. People need a place to live. And then also vacant space historically attracts crime, dumping, illegal activities. So if you can fill a space like physically, there's so much benefit to community. So I just jumped in and said, okay, let's test out the theory. Let's aim big. What would it look like? Could you transform a neighborhood by putting 187 structures on 187 vacant lots?
Right.
And so jumped into that 2 years ago and quickly realized that it would take forever to put 187 single family homes on single family lots. And in the process, like the picture I've started to realize is I feel like I'm looking at a wall full of these buttons, and when I press each button, it lights up. And some buttons I'd press and it's just one little light, but there's other buttons I'm reaching out and I'm pressing them and I realize it has a bigger light.
Yeah.
And I realized I love impact. So yes, I could put 187 single family homes, but there are opportunities out there where if you think creatively, instead of just putting a single family home, if you put a duplex, if you put an eightplex, if you put a restaurant, if you put a home office on the front, if you put on like a garden shed for a garden community, there's buttons you can press that we're going to have larger impact.
Well, what has really impacted me, impact, in your journey is how that one yes to a vision, to a picture that you saw, to an opportunity, if you will, has led into so many other things. Case in point, the Space Force event that's come into Waco. Tell us a little bit about that, involvement with that, if we can.
Yeah.
Whatever's not classified.
Every time we say Space Force, I always think Space Goes Coast to Coast, which is the original podcast,
Welcome
by
to
the way.
Space Goes Coast to Coast.
That was the original podcast.
Yes.
So.
Well, it's funny because you would think that I would need a track record of success in a whole bunch of single family homes to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you just got to try and fail faster. And all of a sudden I'm on to like the larger deals really quickly. Not because like the smaller ones were like wildly successful, but just because I was asking the right questions and pointing to the right people.
I love the thought of, hey, John Mark, you've been getting real estate. Have you thought about space? Would you like to work with us?
But I think that's an important thing to highlight, and something that I really want to talk about, because especially when you're looking from the sideline, you only see level 1, right? But then once you get in and you say yes to level 1, like you step in and start playing on the monkey bars, that's when it's like, oh, dude, there's a whole like swing set over here. There's like the next things just kind of keep coming that you don't get if you don't.
If the analogy is a playground, I was looking at the swing on the swing set, thinking
low risk comparatively.
I was thinking the swing was the whole playground.
Exactly.
And then in my attempt to fill out a whole neighborhood, I realized I have to think bigger to actually accomplish this.
Right.
And so I had to start thinking larger than just what does it take to build a single family home. It's like, how do we actually, the way I can move this faster is if I create demand for these homes.
Yep.
So yes, I want to build homes, but actually I could probably fill these lots faster if I helped create a company that hired 5,000 people. Then all of a sudden we're going to have to attract a lot of talent from outside the city.
Yep.
So that people are wanting to buy homes, and then it's naturally going to force the market to develop these lots.
Yeah.
And in the process of asking these economic development questions of what businesses does Waco need? And not just like, what's the retail shop that you want to go eat at? Or it's like, okay, what's a type of job that could hire that many people? I started looking at Waco's strengths, and it's been a process of becoming an expert on Waco. So what are the industries that we are best at? What are things that are incentivized by the city? What are our industries that are incentivized by our state here in Waco?
Yep.
So really thinking pretty quickly, okay, we got TSTC, our trade school locally, and we had Baylor for research, and one conversation led to another, and I met someone who said, hey, I want to help start tech defense companies. And I thought, that's awesome. How do we practically get across this? And I said, well, here's a connection from a connection from a connection. Now it looks like the U.S. Space Force wants to come to Waco to host an event. And the idea there is that the U.S. Space Force is going to bring their procurement officers, the people in charge of purchasing technology from the developers. They're going to bring all those procurement officers to Waco. And then we go out and we find all the companies developing new technology, and we bring them to the table. And we just create this platform where it's historically, you would think that the U.S. government's really good at communicating what they're trying to accomplish.
Until you interact with it.
I would not think that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think like they got enough money they can make this happen. But it just takes an outside group connecting them. So the Endless Frontiers Institute, it was just a platform saying like, hey, we know both sides. What if y'all meet at the table?
Yeah.
And, I was working and building a single family home 2 years ago, and now we're hosting U.S. Space Force. Highly connected. I love Waco.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to bring that up of just like, this is the joy of playing on the playground. And I know so we have a few different projects going on together as well. There's difficulty in the process. There's like, okay, we're building houses in Waco, which Texas saw a massive boom during COVID and has since slowed down a little bit. But that's not the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like, oh, well, yeah, okay, well, we're building some houses. It's like, yes, but look at all of the doors that got opened up and that are still progressing forward and some really, really cool things. Like, you're the only person I know that's like engaging with the U.S. Space Force to hold an event. And essentially, I'm saying it started with
it's
the
like
real
John
estate.
Mark and Elon.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
I haven't met Elon yet.
I know. Yeah.
But looking forward to that day. It'll be cool. We're just hanging out here in Waco. McGregor's
Hey,
right
Elon,
around
if
the
you're
corner.
listening,
Come check us out. But I'm saying like, hey, that started from residential construction, but really it started with the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company.
Yeah. January letterpress.
And a January letterpress here in Waco.
Wow. Can't believe it. I love it. Yeah.
Preston.
Yes.
What about for you?
Man,
What's some of your story?
I've been a long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah.
Here.
We're happy to have you on the show. What can we do for you?
Thanks.
Did this caller get vetted? Anybody vet?
No.
Oh, sorry. Keep
I
going.
bypassed producer Tom. But I'm very passionate about the music industry and it being done in an honoring way. This is going to be a whole other podcast, but one day.
Tune in next time
Tune in next time.
The music industry.
The music industry.
Preston Zimmer.
Why is it the way
it is?
it is? Um, but yeah, I grew up in Nashville, have a lot of friends in the music industry, just very thankful for music. I love art and care about the purity of art and it being done well. But ultimately, kind of like what I was saying earlier, I really value my heart is that the music industry would become uh, in the same story as Joseph or helping people's dreams come to pass. Like when Joseph was in prison and he was with the cupbearer and the baker, and he's like, "These are your dreams. Don't forget me when you go before the Pharaoh." And one did and one didn't. Well, one died. So of course he forgot. um, did he actually forget? Allegedly. Or did he never not remember? But I love it. John Mark's like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm just trying to hold back stupid comments.
It's fine.
Like, you're talking about the purity of music. I'm
I
like,
know.
great. I'll let you keep talking.
Thank you. My desire is that people in the music industry would encounter a level of trust and honor that hasn't been met before, and that's what I want to participate in. And I'm thankful with a lot of the connections that I've been building, a lot of the friends that I've become to have are the people who, oh, these are trusted people. They've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I love where the music industry is going. And it does have to do with Waco, historically, but,
Yeah, fun fact.
well,
Waco.
I'll get there. But I think I'm a huge believer when in inviting people to the playground of not gatekeeping information and allowing people into the story
Mm-hmm.
and bringing them along in the journey. And I think boiling it down to the Audacious Playground, it's I don't want to gatekeep, and I want people to know like the glory of the story.
Yeah.
And you are welcome in this story too. I could get emotional about this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're welcome to be a part of this story. And oh man. I give my time to the honorable chairman, John.
Well, we've talked about this a lot. And also part of my journey was in technology, but in Nashville and in the music space. And experiencing firsthand the well, I'm just
the
going
gatekeeping.
for it. It's gatekeeping, but there's also a level of idolatry that happens in the industry.
Oh yeah.
That's just like, oh my gosh, people become on a pedestal because they have a platinum record or a gold record, or they're with this company or that company, and all the things that happen that, at the foundation and the base of it is a pure desire to be creative. And I resonate with that in a major way. Like, our Heavenly Father is the ultimate creator. His DNA is in us. We are creative. But seeing just some of the things that, established through humanity, our fallen nature over time that's present in the industry that is ripe for correction. I see that as opportunities, but also invitations for people that are creative, that have that desire to be creative, to hop in, which I didn't know until I got to Waco, kind of some of the foundations of the music industry that have come out of Waco. If you want to fill us in on some of that, because it's pretty cool.
Yes, I like to say that. So if you're listening and you're in the church, which at the beginning is probably most people, so I think there are two different avenues of how we got to where we are today with worship / CCM. So the
contemporary Christian music.
Contemporary Christian music. So we have the worship movement, which is the Jesus movement, which started in the 60s in Southern California.
Azusa Street.
Well, that was in 1904. That was Pentecostalism.
Just taking it back.
We're taking it way back. So the 60s, Jesus movement, like the hippies. And so that's where you got, I would say, how we got modern worship, what we understand as like a radical Pentecostal style of praising God. And then in the 50s, Word Publishing, Word Records was started in Waco on Waco Drive.
Yep.
Across the street from the Salvation Army Family Store, which is a great place to go. I frequent there. And so Word started there and then moved to Fort Worth and then in Nashville, and then came Benson, Word, EMI, Brentwood Records, Sparrow, Capital C, everything that you see today. Every person, every contemporary Christian, every worship person, entity is connected
in some form
in
or
some form
fashion.
and fashion to pretty much where Waco was the industry nature of what also started in Southern California.
Would it be safe to say that Waco is the Kevin Bacon of the music industry?
In what way? What movie?
That you're only 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon at any given time.
Yeah.
What I want to know is why that company's not here in Waco anymore. Why did it go to Nashville?
Well, they moved to Fort Worth. So Billy Ray Hearn and
Is Billy
Kirk-
Ray around? Can we get him on the pod?
no, he passed away a few years ago. I think 14.
Yeah, that would be creepy if we got him on the pod.
I mean,
At the next episode, John, at the
that's called
gravestone.
necromancy, which we don't do that.
That's a different podcast.
That's witchcraft.
Not ours.
And Kirkpatrick and a few other guys, they brought it to Fort Worth because, so I guess technically it was started here within 10 years of the F5 tornado that happened here.
Yeah.
And so industry was really slowed here. And so they moved to Fort Worth and then moved to Nashville, which, strangely enough, Shreveport Louisiana was originally supposed to be the Music City, USA.
Yeah.
Because Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and those guys were like from the area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not neither here nor there. But Nashville was country music.
But it turns out people go where they can be creative and supported.
It's true.
Oh, deep cut.
And that originated
See
here.
what you're saying.
Like the heart of that was here.
Yep.
I think prematurely moved to Nashville, but it was the right time and on God's playground and his timeline and the Kairos time. Not just Chronos, but Kairos. So I think the heart established here was to support creative, was to support.
For sure.
Not just music, but the heart, if you boil it down to it, is we want to support industry and support things, whether it is residential, whether it's space travel, whether it's music, whether it's technology. It's the heart here in Waco is to support that. And I think it really all stems from churches in our city, not competing and caring for one another.
In a very unique way, to a unique level.
Yes.
I think in every city, the church intends to support each other and has, good intentions. But definitely in my experience, how that's walked out here in Waco is really awesome. And it's really refreshing. But before we move on to churches in Waco, talk to us about Equilibria and what that means on the playground.
So Equilibria is, how do I explain this? The name started from the number 2 podcast in the world behind us, Joe Rogan podcast.
You're also welcome to join anytime, Joe.
Yeah. But
if you want to boost your ratings.
I gave it a face. I was like, I don't know if I want that.
It's the Equilibria is a plural form of equilibrium. And essentially, it's when two things are in cahoots together, or multiple things are
in balance
together. And then the phrase came from that, which I forgot the Latin phrase that I wrote out, but it's when one succeed, all succeed. Cum succeedent. I forget it, but when one succeed, all succeed.
Yeah.
From that has stemmed it's Equilibria Creative Agency, and so management company agency to support artists on their journey.
Yeah.
Like how do we get an artist from A to D to Z on their creative journey? And then
Yeah, and some of the conversations that we've had, specifically about the music industry, comes down to some of the existing structures are really detrimental to the process.
Mhm.
So there's the production houses, the labels, which are some of the gatekeepers. Um, but in some of the structures and how like a new artist is able to actually get going in their career, they incur a lot of debt.
Yes.
Incur a lot of debt, and then also sign away large portions of their royalties, which historically it's been very intensive and very expensive to get an artist actually to market. But in
Since 2000,
in
it changed.
yes,
That was a long time ago.
as everything yes, but
It took 15 to 20 years for the industry to catch up.
and it's still doing that.
Yeah.
And so now enter AI and all those different things.
Mhm.
That's another podcast on itself.
another
AI's
podcast.
impact on music. But the difficulty to take an artist to market, the cost to take an artist to market is actually way less. There's also different avenues.
Yeah.
So
Well, so there's the management stuff, and there's publishing, which is taking everything that's every song and growing a catalog.
I think specifically for like your heart for the artist and the people that participate in the industry has like that core ethos when one succeeds, all succeed.
Yeah, sure.
And aligning those structures to really serving the people.
Yeah,
get the
and
support.
like what I was saying earlier, is not gatekeeping and opening the avenues of trust. And if I believe, not just me, but if we believe in somebody and what they're doing, then we want to give them an avenue to execute, to see it happen. And so whether that's through representing them to other labels, publishing companies, or having the publishing side to bring them along and saying, hey, we will help get these songs out into the right hands. And then the other one is just what I would call like a creative liaison, which is another way of saying consultant. But coming alongside artists, labels, writers, anybody in the music industry that needs or wants an outside perspective and help to get things done.
Yeah.
And so that, in a nutshell, is Equilibria.
Where are you in the process?
I officially launched the website 3 days ago.
Okay.
Got a couple of artists.
Yeah, that we're talking
managing.
through, and there's some of the artists have some exciting things, hopefully in the horizon, that we'll find out next month. That hopefully I'll be able to share one day. And yeah, just getting interest from some labels for others, and yeah, I think John and I, and we've said it a lot in the office, but I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of learning on the run. And I've told a lot of people in the industry that I've said, hey, I've been industry adjacent for 20 years, and I've seen it working. My dad has been in it, and close friends have been in it, so I see how it works.
You're a musician yourself.
I haven't put my feet in the water necessarily, and I'm like just jumping in.
Yep.
And so I love it. I'm really passionate about it. So that's what I'm pursuing. And then also in just creating my own music and having support in that, and figuring out on another podcast one day is
how do we you come out with?
Well, all in
episode.
one episode. Sorry.
Another
how
episode.
do we harness AI to help us and not screw us over? That's the title.
Yeah, I spend a lot of my day.
Yes.
In the AI space
now. And so, John, and then for you, obviously with Concert Capital, what is, explain to me, to the listener, what that is and what you're doing.
Yeah. So the core purpose of Consular Capital is to have a holding of companies that interact in reestablishing the industrial complex across the Midwest. It's the like output side. What we want to be engaging in. So construction companies, technology companies, engineering company, and the like.
Aviation.
An
one day.
aviation company, yes.
Mhm.
So bought and sold that already. But unto what is like the primary question? It's like, okay, but why do this? Why do that? Why engage in anything? And for us, that looks like creating culture. So partnering with musicians or movie producers, other people that have like vision and values for the stories that God's telling every day, and being able to help empower that. So that's kind of the basis for where Consular Capital came about. And then I think the biggest step onto the Audacious Playground here in Waco for us has been the Guardian Collective. So while I was in California, I was neighbors with Bill Emerson, who builds custom cars. And he's built about a collection of like 100 to 110 specialty Cobra replicas. And when I first moved in, he came over and I introduced himself and, hey, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm in technology. Okay, that's cool. What do you do? I'm a mechanic. It's like, you want to see my shop? Okay, sure. So we go over and it's like beat up, ratty old barn surrounded by disassembled junk of cars. So I'm like, yeah, okay, country mechanic probably. And he rolls the door open, and sitting inside are 3 pristine Shelby Cobras. And I'm thinking they're like originals or kits or something, but they're the cars he's built by hand himself.
That's nuts.
And is like,
I mean,
you're not a mechanic.
with actual parts, like with Shelby parts, right? Wasn't it with?
Yes, some of them
I mean
are.
which is
Yeah.
amazing.
But so the story of those cars, like he redesigned the frame and stretched it out. So I'm 6'3". I don't fit in an AC Cobra. Like my head is over the windshield. So he created a frame that accepts larger people, particularly athletes. So football players, things like that.
Interesting.
But anyway, fast forward like 2 years, and
Of which you are an athlete.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're
compliment.
welcome.
If you're listening to this podcast, you can tell that John is an athlete.
John is 6'3", 290. Minus
Minus
120.
But fast forward 2 years, he and I have become pretty good friends, and he calls me. He's like, "Hey, would you want to buy or want to own one of my cars?" Like, well, of course. They just don't really come up. He's like, "I've got
That's
one.
awesome.
If you want one." Guy's dumping it to go sail the world. It's like, okay. So I came over and his gorgeous car. Anyway, ended up buying it.
She was
That
a
was
beaut.
not too long before COVID, which we already talked about. That story ended up coming to Waco, but then now I have this collector car and nowhere to put it. So I had it on consignment in Dallas. And on the way up, Preston and I were just talking about what can be in Waco, like all the cool things and different stuff. And I don't remember if it was you or me.
I mean, I think at some point
No,
I
I
was
think
like,
you brought up.
have you ever been to Walt Grace Vintage in Miami? Have you heard of this? You're like,
It's like,
no.
no,
And
I
so I
don't know
explained
what
it
that
to
is.
you. Not a sponsor, Walt Grace.
No,
I've
but it is
I've
really cool.
always wanted to do that. Yeah, they sell vintage cars and guitars, like high-end stuff.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So we're going to pick up this really cool car. Preston collects guitars, buys and sells a little bit. Also a great guitarist. And so it's like, dude, that is a great intersection of what we do. And so we just spent the drive dreaming of what that could look like, strategizing cars and guitars in Waco. And so by the time we were about there, it's like, why don't we do this? Like, oh, well, I don't know if Waco could support that or not. And, all the typical questions that come through. It's like, but why don't we just go find out? And so I have a background in architecture, drew up some initial plans and some mock-ups and got a website up, and then just started pinging around town like, hey, who has cool cars? Who collects cars? And we found out there are a lot of automotive enthusiasts in Waco. And then one thing led to another. 906 Austin is the building. Had been
Thanks to John Mark.
Yeah.
He's the one that brought us onto it.
Yes, I remember when you invited us
There
to
you
go
go.
walk. I still didn't quite know you
I
or
didn't
who you
explain
were.
it to you. I just said,
You want to go
You're
look
like,
at a building?
I'm gonna go look at a building if you want to come.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, why not? Okay. And then as we were walking the building,
you walked in with like one of those laser things that shoot
yes,
the distance
a
from the
laser
walls.
measure to like just see how big it
You're like,
is. and
"This
like
is
look big or
large."
whatever.
According
This
to my
is a
calculations,
big
this is big.
building.
That's me. This is large. John's
This
like,
is big. But as we're walking through the building, like Preston and I are looking at each other like, oh gracious, like this is perfect.
Yeah.
Which rewind a little bit, we had sat in a meeting with Chad Robinson, I think it was a few weeks before that, a couple weeks.
we did, yes.
And was talking to him about the Guardian Collective, which at the time I wanted to build a metal building
I don't know
outside town.
why we were talking with him
I
about
think
it.
we were just meeting with people in Waco, like business people in Waco, and somebody was like, "Dude, you should go talk to
That's right.
Chad."
Yeah.
Which they were right. He's awesome. But yeah, the concept was a metal building outside town, and we were talking to him about it. He's like, "Man, this is super cool. Would you ever be interested in a building downtown?" Like, man, that's probably biting off more than we can chew. Like renovating a building and everything. It's just outside my wheelhouse. I've always been in new construction. That's probably a safer place to stay. So then we go walk the building with you a couple weeks later. It's like, this layout is perfect. The building used to be a car dealership.
Yes.
So it has a big roll up door in the back. It also has, so it's like 20, almost 30,000 square feet, but the majority of it isn't street facing.
Yeah.
It's a hard building to fill in a traditional sense. But as we were walking it, it's like, oh yeah, who has this building? And it's like, oh, this is Chad's building. So I called him shortly after and was like, hey, remember when you were like, I've got a building that would be great for this? And I was like, no.
Get out of my face.
Was it 906 Austin? He's like, yeah. I was like,
That's awesome.
let's talk.
Yeah.
So
we're still in the process of it, but we have a lot of buy-in, a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Central Texas is poised for, I think, the next automobile mecca of at least the U.S.
And it's already there. If you're in Dallas or Austin, you know this. Waco
or Houston
doesn't quite. Yes, yeah, definitely Houston as well. But we have some of the highest density of those collector cars anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think in that journey, the thing worth pointing out is that concept is something that nobody's done in Waco yet. They're happening around the country, so there's concepts that are close. Ours is mixed use, being commercial office, public use, so coffee shop, lounge, and car vault, as well as some amenities like golf simulator, workout facility, and stuff. But as we have brought that to market, there's difficulties in that. It's not a standard real estate deal. It's not like, well, here's the dollar per square foot we're buying it for. Here's the dollars per square foot. We're going to update it. And it's all Class A office, and Class A goes for X. So here's what our projections are. It's, hey, we've got some Class A office. We've got some car vault. And we've got some retail. The office and retail is understandable. But the car vault portion is like, well, I mean, are there cars here? Are you sure? And yeah, we're very confident in the information that we found that there really is, and there's a high demand for this in kind of every market, but especially Central Texas.
For the sake of Audacious Playground, we really do believe like that is the beachhead, like the crux of everything that we're doing. It's like this is the physical, tangible representation of what we're doing.
Yep.
And we're taking it to the nth degree, to whether it's beautiful completion or beautiful failure. And like
Yep.
that is Audacious Playground. It's like I'm going to clear these monkey bars.
Yep.
Whether I fall, break my arm, or we make it all the way across, like we are going to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like to your point, it being the beachhead, there is something beautiful that happens when the creative mixes with like business or utility.
Industry stuff.
And when that happens, it sparks life like nothing else.
Yeah.
And so having a place that's inspirational is a really big deal. This office has been a good portion of that for me. Being able to be in a place that's like, it's inspirational when I come in. Like it feels great. So just different past lived experiences and environments in Kansas City and places, knowing, okay, when you crack that egg, really awesome things happen when you create a space that is undeniably creative,
Beautiful.
cutting edge, and inspirational. It
Totally.
breeds more things. So that is still one of those ventures that is in progress. We'll have more updates as it goes, but
yeah,
fun journey.
Yeah. Well, I think we found ourselves here.
John Mark, you want to talk us out?
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, just excited to be here.
I'm starting to fade. I'm like thinking, should we do this podcast in the morning? Because I'm going to eat too many tacos for lunch before we record this every time. I got like a steak street taco hangover.
Wow.
Going into this. So.
That's my favorite band.
Street taco.
The steak street taco.
Yeah.
Steak street taco. Steak street taco.
Steak street taco hangover.
Well, I'll land the plane.
You want to land it?
Yeah, I'll land the plane.
Plane's yours.
So if you made it this far with us, thank you. And virtual handshake. But like everybody says, please follow our podcasts.
Smash the like button.
Smash the like button. Subscribe.
all of the things.
But also in the comment section, love to hear your Audacious stream or people that are like, this person is pretty awesome. If you're like, you should talk with this person.
Yeah.
And we'll also put an email out if you're listening.
Who are the movers and shakers?
Or
the
just
people
text
that
us
are
if
out
you know
there.
us.
Got a website?
We got our website, audaciousplayground.com.
Love it when we finish other.
And no, it is not a mistake with how the website looks. It is 100% supposed to look like that. So indulge. And there might be an Easter egg.
That's the best part of this whole thing. It's an excuse to make that website.
I don't know. It's a mystery.
Yes.
People will have to find out for themselves.
Find out.
We're just rolling it back
fun
to
things
early
to
internet style.
Yeah.
Okay. AP out.
Yeah.
See you all next time.
Thanks for joining us.
See you guys.
See you next time.